welcome to our next dialogue on the journey of transformation. I have today a very special guest. As previously you've seen, I've brought people from all fields of life, especially in regards to their own journey of transformation and the work they do, or their organizations having regenerative practices, so that how individuals then transform after this self-transformation, bring transformation to their organizations or community and society. So today I have a very honorable guest, Dr. Mohammad Iqbal, who I must admit, he's my mentor in humanitarian work, because when I started about, 15, 16 years ago, I just followed his path and I was working with his organization. Welcome, Dr.
Thank you, Anika.
Thank you for taking time out, considering you're a very busy person. So let me just quickly introduce Dr. Iqbal, working as Neuro-Otologist and Audio-Vestibular physician at Salford Royal NHS Foundation Trust. So Dr. Iqbal's research is in pediatrics and neurology, and there's another term which I cannot pronounce, so he's going to tell us about this. But he's also the founder and trustee of the Association of Pakistani Physicians and Surgeons of UK Foundation. APPSUK is a charity run by medical professionals in the UK. So they have under their umbrella consultant physicians and all sorts. Iqbal is the ex-chair of APPSUK. He's one of the board of governors for Salford colleges. I believe this is what I've been sent.
Excellent.
And he's listed amongst 100 influential Muslims and influential Pakistanis in the UK. Interesting. And of course, he has 25 excellent awards, including a lifetime humanitarian award. So he's championing all this humanitarian work. I mean, amazing. And this is why he is my guest today, because my first question to him would be that being a doctor, you're already serving humanity. You know, doctors are the messiahs. So their work involves, servicing and giving their services, their time, their heart and soul to their patients. So why was there a need to start a charity again for you doing all this work around in the community, and you've done all the charity projects in Pakistan, and you've spread a lot of, you and your team have spread a lot of awareness here in the UK. So over to you. You need to take us on the journey where it all started, especially this impulse within you around humanitarian work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As you said that our journey was together 15 years ago when we were working, and you took a path towards the media and journalism, and I took the path towards the charity. But still, we have met many times. Anika, my childhood was in a very poor house, where one meal a day was lucky to have, and 2 meals a day was a bonus. So mother used to keep a bowl of curry with one piece of meat. So she used to decide which child is going to get that piece of meat, or she has to divide this into 2 halves or 3 halves. So, but we were still very happy. We were a happy family despite of all these difficulties. And I wasn't very good in education. So my mother has to beg the science teacher in class 9 equal to GCSE start, please give him science. My wish is that my son should become a doctor. And teacher said, no, he's a duffer. He won't be able to read science. He's a duffer. He won't be able to cope with science. But somehow my mother backed him, and I got into science and I performed good. And I got into admission into Adamji Science College. Again, the grades were good, but not good enough to get into Adamji Science College on the basis of merit. So I went as a drama secretary, and then I worked hard. Again, the marks were good, but not good enough to enter into a medical school. So somehow, at that particular time, there was a movement for the Urdu speaking in Karachi, and the
Mhm.
seats were increased in number, and I got admission into medical school. But that was the start of my real Muhammad Iqbal. I was known as Guyton, um, the author of a physiology book because of my knowledge, and I got gold and silver medals to pass my exam. And I did my FCPS Part 1 and FRCS Part 1, and I came here. And then I completely forgot, about my childhood, about the reflection, and I was enjoying my life in the UK, thinking that, oh, this is the best life one can have. But in 1986, my father died, and I was at his bed side, so, and I was reflecting my work, my humanitarian work especially, and I
Mm.
that I haven't done what I should have done, and that was the start of my charitable work. So yes, awards and everything okay, but it has never been a one-man show. It has always been a teamwork where everyone has contributed, and we
Mm.
have stood exemplary to make sure that people are motivated, they are inspired to work better and more. And this is how the APPS UK Foundation was formed. So APPS UK is a doctor's body where I was the chair once, and then I founded APPS UK Foundation. Foundation is a charity. So we have got, we will discuss projects and everything, but this is the journey.
Wow. Mashallah, that's good because I know you have mobilized a huge community of not just doctors, but their families and the children are involved. I remember working with APPS UK. I think it was more than 15 years ago, actually.
Right. Yes.
And I don't know why you got this idea. I'm into media or journalism. No, this is my research work actually for community and societal,
Yes. But
regeneration
you are
actually
very well known.
after my PhD. Yes, so
Apart from the PhD, you are very well known in the media as well. So many people talk about you, and I
thank you.
hear good words about you. So that's
No, I
wonderful.
think it's up to mentors like you and leaders like you who have always held our hand and, showed me the path as well that, the humanitarian work needs to be also done. The spark was ignited. So thank you for that. I remember those days attending all those events that and seeing a lot of doctors and their families very, actively engaged. So, how many members you have now, APPS UK?
APPS UK, the doctors' body, has got 8,000 members.
Wow,
APPS UK Foundation charity, because I am solely working for charity now. So we have got about 4,000 members.
wow, amazing. So you've done a lot of projects in Pakistan,
Yes.
right?
And other countries as well. Yes.
Other countries, okay. Which countries?
We have done some work in Bangladesh, some food distributions in India. We sent uh, food parcels to Morocco after this earthquake. And in the past, we have sent food to Hebron. From Hail to Hebron was the famous slogan.
Wow, yeah, yeah, I remember that, seeing that on social media.
And also
Yeah.
Yemen, Syria.
Hmm. So
So
wherever there is a crisis or disaster, doctors run for it.
Yes.
And APPSUK is funded by all of you yourself, because that's how the funds are generated, like coming from all the doctors who are the members, right?
To be honest with you, the funds don't come from doctors. The funds come from non-doctors. You know,
Okay.
it's somehow that those who are not doctors trust us with their money more than the doctors do. Sorry to say.
Yeah, but initially when it started, I remember you yourself were funding all
Yes,
these
that's right.
projects, right?
I fund the all admin cost from my private practice so that the donor money is not spent on the admin cost. So it becomes 0% admin charity. So if anyone was to give £100, the £100 will be spent in the overseas country of their choice, but there will be no admin cost. Now, saying that there is usually admin cost like transportation and things like that. So I pay for that to make sure that the donor money gets to the recipient 100%.
Mm.
Sometimes 125% with the gift aid.
Wow, amazing. So, all of us say this, and I've heard this, that people say that Muslims, especially in the UK, this is said, one positive thing about us is that we are charitable people and we give a lot of charity,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's fair enough. But my question to you is that why are we just stuck with giving charity? And I'm saying this because we haven't been able to. I'm saying this because I was doing community projects, and I would look for funding, and people would rather give funding to build a mosque or something, or beautify a mosque, but rather than giving it to, on upskilling women, migrant women, say, for
Yeah.
example. So we don't have that trend. I've worked in this field for about 15, 16 years now. So can you tell me, I understand there is a religious aspect to giving charity, because we believe that we get rewarded in the hereafter, and we're giving, the more we give, Allah rewards us. This is the concept, the barakah increases.
Yeah.
But why are we not, working on building institutions or other things? This is my question to you.
Anika, you are absolutely right. Let's talk about in the United Kingdom first.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not a great believer of building mosque. I'm a great believer of building community centers where mosque can exist within that community center.
Yes.
The advantage is this, that the poet says, "M- m- मस्जिद तो बना ली शब भर में ईमा की हरारत वालों ने मन अपना पुराना पापी था बरसों में नमाजी बन न सका." Basically, it means that you can build the mosque in each corner of the area where you live, but if your mosque is half empty, for example, then there is no point. And also, you have to understand the logic or the cost efficiency. If
Hmm.
Tesco is open for 15 minutes 5 times a day, then Tesco
Yes.
is not cost efficient. If
Yeah.
the mosque is open for 15 minutes 5 times a day, then the mosque is not cost efficient. So
Because
everything,
historically, the mosque was the hub, community hub,
absolutely, this is
in
what,
Prophet's time as well.
yes,
Yeah.
in Prophet time, everything used to happen in the mosque. Everything.
Mhm.
Now, over the period of time, the imams and others, they decided to keep the mosque as a very sacred place where nothing else will take place. But this is wrong. It is wrong
Mm.
because the you have to attract the youth and the children, and you can only do this if you have a community center where all activities take place. You can attract the women where all activities are taking place. So, for example, you can have speakers forum. You can have what I arrange lives but not knives, type of,
Mm.
and we can have other um, activities in which we are training our children with better communication with respect, communication with empathy,
Mm.
networking, leadership. So you see, there are so many things to learn by sitting and talking and and learning from each other as well as from the mentors.
mm,
So, and also the skills, if we can teach our ladies or men as well, sewing and different other activities, then they can learn the skill and earn.
mm,
And they can earn from home or by going out. So both possibilities are there. So what I mean to say is that community center is an institution in which the mosque plays a very important role in this institution. But there are so many things which youth want to learn or youth want to read or youth want to practice, which can
mm.
take place in community center. And not only youth, but also the our older folks who wants to sit and have a cup of tea and talk and avoid the
Yeah, have a dialogue, because I think my why I'm asking you this is because I'm exploring nowadays, I'm researching, I'm asking everybody this question because of the current political environment that, we are now kind of been pointed at, saying what have Muslims have actually destroyed the culture of this country. And so I'm asking, in what way we have contributed. We have contributed to this society in a very positive way as well, because the work of you have been doing with your colleagues and all the doctors, spreading awareness, especially when it comes to healthcare within
yeah,
migrant communities and all that.
yeah.
So, but how come we are still lagging behind in intellectual, having these intellectual discourses and furthering ourselves rather than just doing our
You're
jobs?
right. If you look at the Muslims, especially the Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, I'm going to concentrate on where because I know them much better than Arab and African Muslims. We are far behind in education.
Mm,
Look at the percentage of the Pakistani Muslims achieving a better grade or more than average grade of GCSE result or A level result. We are still much uh, in the lower category than other ethnicities. For example, Chinese, Indians, white, and even now Bangladeshis are better. You know. So what is the reason? The reason is that the men work very long hours.
mm,
They are not at home to sit and talk to their children, to understand their problems, day-to-day problems, to make sure that there is an emphasis on the education. And then the second is this that, oh, well, nobody is going to give you job type of mentality, which is wrong.
mm,
It's wrong. But they think that becoming taxi driver is going to be an easy way to earn money rather than applying for a admin job in any institution. It is going to be difficult, and
mm,
it's not right. This is wrong perception. Now, when this when this concept is in the mind of the child will think, whatever I do, I'm not going to get the job, so why don't I become taxi driver? At least I will earn 500 pounds per week, right?
mm, mm,
I'll earn 2,000 pounds per month. Now, we have to work hard to take this concept out, and we have to make sure that we put this in the mind of the child or children that education is extremely important. Having a degree is not only academic but also gives us lot of understanding of ourselves and others and the job situation as well, and working in a professional environment is always helpful for a community. Whether we take it as a community, let's say Pakistani Muslim community, but I would say that any community or any person, whether
mm,
it non-white, whichever you think of, it's very important that they should pursue education, they should achieve degree, and they should work in a professional job if possible. If not, then they should achieve a skill. They can go for plumbing, joinery, whatever it is, right? And it's very important that they should at some stage work to achieve self-employment. So small entrepreneurship, small businesses.
mm, mm,
Now,
mm,
this is how we are going to progress. You see, I come from Memon community. Memon community is very different community from others because they do not emphasize on jobs. They emphasize on self-employment, small business. So, for
mm,
example, when my uncle came from India to Pakistan, my father didn't give him a job. My father gave him a stall, a little stall to say that, look, I'm not a rich man and I cannot offer you something, but here is a person who is giving you a stall and you take this stall so that you become self-employed, small entrepreneur.
mm.
And then eventually, my father became in a much better position. My uncle became in a much better position because entrepreneurship is very helpful for any nation. And this is why you see microfinance system in Bangladesh extremely helpful for Bangladesh. And this is where we have to look at, for example, Pakistani community, for example, then we have to look at how we can develop entrepreneurship over here. Not,
Mm.
not everybody is going to be highly educated or highly professional.
Yes, exactly. I was going to relate to this that what we are behind on, we are lagging behind on is innovation. Because look, being a taxi driver is not a bad thing. You can be a taxi driver, you are self-employed, but at least how do you then play your positive role in society building? Because you are not part of what is happening in the society. And I think that has been our tragedy because except for a few people like yourself and who have been trying very hard to further, our own way of life and message as well. Others are not playing any positive or any active role in being part of this society. So I feel like this is what we need to now propagate.
Yes,
Um, yeah, so is APPS UK doing something about it?
yes. At the level of children, for example, we help them to achieve a better statement and interview to gain admission into medical school. We teach them by Zoom English, chemistry, biology subjects, and they are only £3 if they can pay.
Okay.
If they can't pay, there is no charge. But what
Mhm.
we're trying to do is we are trying to boost their knowledge. We are trying to attract them to achieve better grades. We are trying to attract them to achieve higher education. And we are trying to emphasize the value or importance of the education, right?
So these are the young youth here in the UK?
In the UK. And
Yeah.
we do have forums. In these forums, we have speakers forum. So we ask them to speak,
Mm.
any subject of their choice, but speak and let us listen to you, what you have to say, right? Then we do invite mentors from the community, all part of the community, not only Pakistani, but every community. And
Mm.
then ask them to come and speak. For example, Olivia was here. She's from London, EMDR specialist, and she made a difference. So the children were inspired, the children were
Mm.
motivated, and they had a different perspective after listening to these programs. And I can sense it that they wanted to perform better and they have
Mm.
been better. For example, um, medical school admission. After attending our program, 77 went into medical school in 2022, 67 in 21.
Yeah.
The number is much more than 77. So the
Mm.
same, we, we, we have the same program for the dental students. We have got the same program for the law students. And
Okay.
we arrange motivational programs for the primary and secondary school students as well. So
Mm.
we are trying our best to make sure that we make the difference. We motivate them. We inspire
Mm-hmm.
them. We create a spark. and we say to the parents that you have to carry on this spark, uh,
Hmm.
it's important, very important.
Yes. How do you find time for all this? Because you're full-time employed still, right?
You see, one thing I must say that as part of as being a Muslim, my concept, my belief is that when you are doing good work for others, you are trying to help others, there is a barakah. Barakah
Hmm.
is that it becomes more. Now the time becomes more, so 1 hour becomes 5 hours for you. The
Hmm.
effort becomes, mm, it magnifies itself and the result magnifies itself. So there is always a barakah. But the thing is this, as I said, it's not a one-man show team. There is
Hmm.
there are teams who are responsible for each part of the job or program or the project. So we work together and we achieve together.
Hmm. So this, you're playing, I mean, you, your team, APPS UK, and their families are playing this very positive role in the society and a society building. How come no, it's not spoken about too much?
Right.
I mean, if only you write something on social media, but you have a huge following, then yes, but otherwise, how do we bring this to light so
Yes.
people also learn from this?
Yes. Anika, this is a very good question, very important question, which you have asked. Unfortunately, the social media, sorry, the media, the journalists and the TV, television, they do not give us as importance as we deserve. So
Hmm.
let's look at our work for the diabetes. You know, I know Dr. Heather doing amazing work for diabetes, Dr. Naseem working for kidneys, renal patients, and dementia charity, for example, Faiza and Mrs. Shuja, amazing work for dementia work. Now we had just recently we had um, um, a Eid Milan party, Eid event.
Hmm.
We invited the dementia group to have a free stall, no charge. Just have a free stall to show that we support dementia group.
To raise awareness,
Raise
yeah.
awareness, you know. So 600 people who were in the hall, everyone came to look at what dementia group is doing, right?
Mm,
And these
mm,
are all Asian ladies who are working for dementia group. And every Ramadan, when we have dates, to sell as part of our profit generation for good work, we send 2, 3 boxes for the dementia sufferers in uh, south of Manchester. So we give them full support, you know.
mm,
And
mm.
there are children who have raised money for dementia. There are children who have raised money for breast cancer. There are children who have raised money for prostate cancer. There are
Wow.
children who have raised money for Parkinsonism. There are children who have raised money for individual cases. So you see, our children are are trying their best. Our children and our
So
youth.
they are inheriting this legacy from all of you to help humanity as
Yes,
well.
they can see that there are many organizations working in a school or at school level, and they are doing amazingly good work, and children are following them, and they are showing us amazing results. But unfortunately, we do not see the media highlighting their work as much as we see their highlight is more to other groups. Now,
Mm. I
one bad
think
news
just because our own community is not aware of it, firstly, so
that's
we can talk about it. We can, bring this out in the open.
yes,
So yeah.
yes.
So do you think there's prejudice against us? That's why.
No, whether
I
it's
mean, you work in NHS. You worked there for how many years?
40 years.
Wow, amazing.
That shows my age.
Wow, amazing.
And I think
Mm,
prejudice, there are some, and there are some other reasons in other cases as well. So I wouldn't say that it's all discrimination against us. No, I wouldn't say that. See, the thing is this, we need to have a clear pathway and we need to have
Mm,
system where
mm,
we can project our work a lot better. Now,
yes.
what pro see, 0% admin charity, we can't pay to a social media company to have £200 from Sadqa and Zakat to promote us. This is one of the problems, right? So we can't ask them to put us on Google list so that 100,000 people can see us. Now, there are organizations like Islamic Relief and others, they are doing this.
Mm,
But we can't do this because we have to stay within 0% admin cost. But others who are paying admin costs like 30, 40, 50% admin cost, they are doing this, you know. And I
yeah.
don't see any real harm as long as the admin cost increases is 20% or so. 40, 50
Mm,
is too much. Um, to make them aware, to make their work prominent, to make children being aware of these projects and inspire them to do the good work as well.
mm.
So there are
But
few,
then, how would our economic condition improve if we keep on working like this? You see, because I know that some people literally make you feel guilty about asking a charity to be reimbursed for your time, which is, I think, is not a bad thing.
hmm,
Otherwise, how would we can't just be charity cases and then keep on doing charity? I know doctors are well off, but not everybody who
yeah,
renders
true,
their services
true.
to this charity. I think that's a wrong belief I
Hmm.
think we have, because people should be paid for their time.
I agree with you. You're right, because if you are employing someone to do the job, then they have to earn their living. So I agree with you that a, a, a reasonable percentage expenses is okay. But when some charities go to 50% expenses,
Yeah, I know
then
that's
there is
yeah,
concern. There is concern.
yes, 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 yes. So tell me, what is your impact in on NHS, working there for 40 years?
Anika, I'm the lead for the Dizziness and Balance Clinic for Northwest England. So I see
Mm,
tertiary care patient, which means that consultant to consultant patients or some complex patients. And it's it's a very um, rewarding work for my happiness and my peace. That I
mm,
enjoy my work. I enjoy when people are better. I get concerned when people are not better, and I think of why they are not better. And I get a lot of good feedback. But I tell you what, my best feedback comes from the Jewish community of Manchester. They love me.
amazing.
They love me. So they will write cards for me and they will send feedback and things like that. So I'm more popular in the Jewish community than the Muslim community.
Mm. So
Other community.
but what you are saying is also you are kind of debunking this myth that people think Muslims don't like Jewish people or they hate Jewish people, which is wrong.
No, no,
So
it's not
you have
right.
actually proved it.
There is no such thing, as far as I know, that Muslims don't like Jews or Jews don't like Muslims. I don't see like this. I see there are many people, Muslims, who work in the Jewish institutions, right? And we must give credit to the Jewish institutions. You know,
Yes,
they have done
yes,
amazing work, and they are at
yes,
the top of and the top in the country. So they have achieved a lot. So we have
yes.
to learn from them. You know,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
so I wouldn't mind copying them to achieve something because
Mm,
they have done very well in many areas, and
of
I think
course.
our children are friends in schools. You know,
Mm,
example, if you go to Altrincham Grammar School for boys, there are many boys, Muslims, Hindus, Chinese, Christians, Buddhist, Sikh.
they're
They're good,
friends.
they're
Yeah.
good friends, and we have to make sure they remain friends. You know,
Mm,
the
mm.
communication with respect and empathy is very important to learn.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Not to get angry, present your views with evidence and talk. And you may not agree.
Mm,
This is fine. Not agreeing is okay, but
yes.
have a fight or quarrel or you know negative thinking is bad. So we must learn to have a communication dialogue, right? Uh,
Mm,
we must
that's,
learn this. Our children must learn this.
yes.
Important.
Right. Thank you so much. I mean, I would love to know more about your impact, on Britain or the British society, because of course you are a professional. You've been working for so many years, and also our community should pay respect to people like you who are silently working so much behind the scene as well, because they have this pain in their heart for humanity and for humanitarian cause, because that is a very religious, sacred
Yes.
purpose for all of us.
Can I tell you something about what we did during the COVID? During the COVID, we were working up to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock at night. Yeah, we were providing the food, we were providing the medicines, and believe me, with mask on, we were taking the food to homeless shelters, to individual houses, and we were dropping at their homes. And we received a letter of commendation from Her Highness, Her Majesty, the Queen, late Queen. And also uh, in Pakistan, especially, our work is more skill based. So we are sponsoring 300 children for education, 300 orphan children for education,
Mhm.
computer centers to teach the computer skills, and eventually how to sell on Amazon. So from computer to Amazon selling, which means
Wow.
they're earning. We are also teaching sewing and embroidery work to orphan girls.
So they can make their livelihood.
Yes, and then we can give them a sewing machine so that they can earn from home. We are also helping widows and orphans with food supply at the same time so that they can have the food supply and they can have the skills, and we have hand pumps for clean water supply. We have fruit cart so that our deaf brothers and sisters can work. So we give them fruit cart with first load free so that they can start earning. And especially we target the severely deaf individuals. And then
Mm.
we have the lower limb prosthesis, upper limb prosthesis. The lower limb prosthesis is very easy. It costs us 150 pound. Upper limb prosthesis costs 1200 pound, which is difficult because of the donation restrictions. And then free cataract surgery. We have a mobile healthcare unit in Dina near Rawalpindi. We treat 12,000 people every year. So there are many other projects, uh, spreading of the orphan girls. It's very
Mm.
important.
So just last maybe question, or maybe just parting words now. What is, if the world has to remember, or UK has to remember, or we have to remember Dr. Mohammad Iqbal's philosophy behind, all this humanitarian work? What, in your words, what is that philosophy? Just those golden words. Tell us those.
I think that a giver never becomes poor. So if you see someone who is in difficulty, if you can help them with finances, good. But if you can't help them with finances, then at least speak to them, talk to them, smile.
Give
And
of yourself to them. Yeah.
yes, absolutely. So this is also sadka. Sadkas have got different forms. So smiling and talking and understanding their problem, even if you can't help them, is a sadka. And if you can help them, then help them to make their living, earning. Um, Go and meet people who are not well. Speak to those people who have got difficulties, who are in stress. So our women in distress helps those women who are in some kind of difficulties, you know.
Mm.
And also, Anika, we are the only charity which has got a project called stand by to donate for funeral. So if there is anyone who can say that we don't have money for the funeral, we provide the money for the funeral. And we have got,
And your charity is not just for Pakistanis or Muslims. No,
anyone can
anyone
approach
can
it. Anyone,
approach. Yeah.
See, the thing is, we are totally inclusive and diverse organization. The chair of Homeless Sabta International, our working group in Pakistan, the chair is a Christian girl, Maria Gori. The chair of Umarkot is a Hindu gentleman, Dr. Pradeep Kumar. The chair of Koita is Pastor Asif John, who is a Christian. So it doesn't make any difference to us.
Yes.
We work.
Humanity is, I always say, humanity itself is a religion. There is no other
Absolutely. Well said, Anish. Yes,
religion. Yeah.
I
So,
think it's very important that the thing is, we have learned all this in the United Kingdom. When I
yes.
came and I used to be in the Nelson libraries, reading, preparing for my exam, the Nelson librarian used to give me a seat very close to the radiator. And she used to say in joke, you Pakistani boy, sit over here, otherwise you will shiver in cold. Now, what a greatness, what an
Mm,
amazing work, that she was looking at me that I don't have proper shoes or I don't have proper, warm coat or jacket and I'm
mm,
shivering. And she used to give me a seat. She used to reserve this seat near the radiator for me so that I can sit and study there. Now,
mm, mm.
now I remember this. I will remember this for the rest of my life. So
Yes.
one good work in the heart of the recipient stays for life.
Yes.
So
That's reciprocity, and you're paying it back now in so many
absolutely,
ways. Yeah.
absolutely. So what I say to people that be generous in your smile, be kind, and if you can afford, help them. And if you want to help them, then go through an organization structure because there is a gift aid available, which increases the donation by 25% if you are working in this country.
Mm. Yes. And that is the sunnah of the Prophet as well, that if you can't give money, smile, give of yourself to others. Yeah.
That's right. So, I mean, there are many families who bring their children if they are not doing good or in the school, and I have to sit with them and I have to
I know. I've seen that. Yeah.
understand their problems, which may be minor or serious, and then I have to put them on the track. And believe me, they are performing very well. I have
Mm.
enormous difference in the students who have come to me, and I give them certificates. I motivate them with different ways, biscuit,
Yes,
chocolate,
I know about this.
canteen.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I've seen you doing that for so many people. So amazing. Wow, you are a brilliant example of, to be followed by especially the youth. And thank you for your time.
Thank you,
This
Nick.
was
So nice.
amazing conversation, and we'll stay in touch. Thank you.
Appreciate.